Okay, so get this. Today, we're diving into something that's, well, it's a little bit spooky, to be honest.
Oh, sounds right up my alley.
Right. So we're heading over to Switzerland.
Switzerland, okay. Beautiful place.
Gorgeous, yeah. Mountains, lakes, chocolate, you know the drill. But we're going a little deeper into the Domleschg Valley.
Domleschg Valley, huh? I'm intrigued already.
See, this valley's got this incredible history, beautiful scenery, but it's also got these, well, ghost stories.
Ghost stories. Now you've got my attention.
And that's what we're diving into today. We're looking at excerpts from, get this, Ghost of St. John Müstair.
Ghost of St. John Müstair. That's a pretty evocative title.
Oh, it gets better. This ghost is none other than, wait for it, the last Hohenrätier. A nobleman, supposedly. But his story, well, let's just say it's more Nightmare on Elm Street than Sound of Music.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about this Hohenrätier.
So the sources paint this guy as a real piece of work, you know, a tyrant, terrorizing the locals, harassing travelers, even kidnapping the whole 9 yards.
Wow. That's quite a resume. But I have to ask, how much of this is true and how much is just, legend?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, we have these sources, these stories that have been passed down, but separating fact from fiction after all this time, it's tricky.
Right. Like, what were these feudal societies like? Did these nobles really have that much power?
Oh, they absolutely did. We're talking about a very hierarchical system. The Hohenrätiers, they were the top dogs in the Domleschg Valley, basically calling all the shots.
So even if some of the stories about this particular Hohenrätier are exaggerated, it's not hard to imagine that life under his rule was, well, pretty rough.
Not a picnic, that's for sure. And the thing is, his story gets even more interesting when you look at how it ends.
Okay, how's that?
Picture this, right? This guy, facing a rebellion, his own people rising up against him, and what does he do? He leaps from the walls of his castle on horseback, straight into the Rhine River.
Whoa, hold on. That's quite the exit.
Yeah.
Talk about going out with a bang.
Right. I mean, you got to wonder what was going through his mind. Was it an act of defiance, a last-ditch attempt at escape, or maybe just a really bad decision?
It's almost symbolic, isn't it? This fall from grace, this refusal to surrender.
Exactly. It tells you a lot about his character, even if we don't know all the details, but this is where it gets really creepy. Legend has it that his spirit, it didn't find peace.
Oh, no, you're not going to tell me he became a ghost, are you?
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. The ghost of the Hohenrätier is said to haunt the ruins of his castle. But there's a catch. He only appears on one very specific night.
Wait a minute, let me guess. It's Halloween, isn't it? Spooky season and all that.
Good guess, but nope. We're talking about St. John's Eve.
St. John's Eve, huh? Okay, I'm not super familiar with that one. Fill me in.
So St. John's Eve, it's a big deal in European folklore. It's this liminal time, a night when the veil between worlds is thin. The supernatural feels closer.
Ah, so it's like a night when spirits can roam more freely.
Exactly. Bonfires, rituals, the whole shebang. So it's not just a random detail that the Hohenrätier's ghost shows up then. It connects his story to this whole web of folk beliefs.
I see. It adds this whole other layer to the legend. History mixed with the supernatural. Pretty fascinating.
It really is. Oh, and speaking of history, the sources also mention the Convent of St. John in Müstair, which is nearby. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
A convent dedicated to St. John, huh? I wonder if it had anything to do with St. John's Eve traditions.
Right. It seems like a pretty safe bet that a convent with that name would have been involved in the local celebration somehow. These celebrations were often tied to sacred places, and a convent, well, that's about as sacred as it gets.
Makes sense. So we've got this tyrannical nobleman, a dramatic death, and a ghost story that survived for centuries. What do you think we can take away from all of this?
It reminds us that history isn't just dry facts and dates, right? It's also the stories we tell, the legends we keep alive. And even if they're embellished or fantastical, these stories can tell us something about the people who came before us, their beliefs, their fears, how they made sense of the world.
I like that. And the Hohenrätier's story specifically, it makes you think about power, about the consequences of our actions, about the mysteries we still haven't solved.
And hey, who knows? Maybe there's some truth to the ghost stories. Maybe if you're lucky, or unlucky, depending on how you see it, you might just catch a glimpse of the Hohenrätier riding through those castle ruins on St. John's Eve.
Now that would be a sight to see. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What really happened all those years ago and what's still lurking out there in the shadows.
And that, my friends, is what makes history so fascinating. It's full of these unanswered questions, these stories that make you think, that make you wonder, So next time you're looking at a beautiful landscape, remember, there's always more to the story, always something deeper waiting to be discovered. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and who knows what mysteries you might uncover.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Keep an open mind, folks, and maybe a flashlight handy just in case you stumble upon a ghost or two. You never know.